Today, we're going to tell you 10 things that cruise lines don't want you to know. Right after this. Hey everyone, Johnny from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back. Today, we're going to go over some things that cruise lines don't tell you and probably don't really want you to know. So let's get into it. Number one, the website price is nowhere near the actual price that you're going to pay for that cruise. A lot of times when you go to the website, whether it be Carnival or Royal Caribbean, you'll see 7-night cruise starting at $400, right? So generally that's going to be for the lowest category of the lowest cabin. So an inside cabin at the very, very lowest category. And also that's going to be kind of just the starting point. It doesn't include port fees and taxes. It doesn't include all of the other fees that you're going to run into, all of the spending on the ship, the drink packages, the excursions, everything else that you would think about when you go into planning. This is one of the things I don't love about the cruise lines. I get why they do it. They get you to try to get you in there. And it's, technically it's not really bait and switch. It is the starting price, and they say starting at, but it does get you pulled in thinking it's going to be that cheap. And then it's really not. So there are a lot of things to consider. We did a video yesterday on budgeting for your cruise. That'll give you a better idea on what is actually included and what isn't included and what you're going to have to pay for. So next up, the thing that they don't always tell you is that the ports are not guaranteed. There are going to be a lot of times due to safety reasons, weather, any number of reasons that you may not be able to go to a port. Last year, we were on a Royal Caribbean cruise. We were getting ready to pull out of Bayonne, New Jersey. We were supposed to go to Port Canaveral, Nassau, and Perfect Day. There was a hurricane coming. Captain came on as soon as we were leaving the port and said, we are going to the Dominican Republic. So we didn't go to any of the ports that we were supposed to. Another one last year for Labor Day. We were supposed to do Bermuda. We wound up doing Miami and another port. And then I was just on Celebrity Summit a few months ago, and we were supposed to do Martha's Vineyard, and the waves were too high, and it's a tender port, so we couldn't do that. So the cruise lines aren't always going to tell you that. So that's a good reason to, when you're picking a cruise line, to pick a really nice ship, a ship that you really want to be on, over an itinerary. You're obviously going to go, I shouldn't say that, because there are cruises where you're supposed to go to the Caribbean or the Bahamas or Bermuda, and you may wind up going to Canada because of the weather. So pick a cruise for the ship sometimes, so you know you have those amenities if you're going to be spending a lot of time on a ship. Next up, you will get nickel and dimed on a cruise ship. It's inevitable. It is going to happen. They're going to hit you up for a lot of different things. There are some exceptions, like Virgin doesn't really do this. But for the most part, once you step on the cruise ship, there's going to be people asking to take your picture, to sign you up for the drink package, the dining package, photo packages, the whole 9 yards, anything you can think of. They're going to try to sell you things. That's where they make a majority of their money, is once you get on the ship. So the cruise lines aren't going to tell you that up front, but we will, so that you are prepared. Next up, the cruise ship will not wait for you. If you are running late at a port, if you go on an excursion, or you just decide to go to Carlos and Charlie's and have a few drinks, when the ship says they are leaving, they are leaving. You got to remember, you are one of maybe 4, 5, 6, 7,000 people getting on a ship. They're not sitting there just waiting for you until you get there. They will leave, and it is your responsibility to get to either the next port or to get home. That is not fun. So if you get out off the ship, make sure your watch is always on ship time or your phone, and you know what time it is, and get back to the ship on time. At this time, we would love to ask you to subscribe to our channel. We are closing in on 4,000 subscribers, which we really appreciate. And we put out a cruise-related video every single day. So come along and join us on this journey. Next up, tips are not included. You have to pay a daily gratuity. It could be anywhere from $15 to $20 per day per person. This adds a lot of money onto your trip. And remember, if you buy a drink, if you get the dining package, there is gratuity added to all of those things as well. So keep an eye on your tips. Next, we just talked about it. Pick a ship, not necessarily an itinerary, specifically if you're going in the Caribbean, because there are a lot of interchangeable ports there. You may wind up going to the Western Caribbean instead of the Eastern Caribbean, or the Southern Caribbean instead of the Eastern Caribbean. All of these things are going to happen because of weather and everything else. So again, I think it's a really good point to think about the ship that you're going on. Is this a ship that you could spend 4, 5, 6, 7 days on instead of just thinking about the itinerary? Itinerary is important, especially if you're doing like the Mediterranean or Canada or someplace with a bunch of this historical places or cultural things that you want to see. In the Caribbean, it's a little bit different because you're basically, shopping and beaches are going to be the highlight. So make sure you pick a ship that has amenities that you're interested in. I love a lot of bells and whistles. So I love a lot of shows. I love ice skating, all the fun, different things you could do on a cruise ship. Some people just enjoy a really nice spa or a really good service. So think about the ship more than the itinerary. Next up, one of the things they don't tell you is that there is a jail on the cruise ship. Now, it's not a jail with bars. It doesn't look like a cell. It's usually just a scaled down room that obviously locks where you can't get out of. And it is usually for people's safety if they have an emotional or mental health crisis and they just need to be isolated for a little bit. And obviously fights and drinking and things like that go on in a cruise ship. So there is a jail or a brig on the cruise ship. Next up, people go missing or go overboard. You hear it a lot. The cruise lines don't want to talk about it, obviously. Here's the positive thing. It is nearly impossible to fall off of a cruise ship. All of the railings are above your waist. Obviously, if you're a child, they're going to be over your head pretty much. If you are an adult, they're going to come up to like your chest area. I'm just about 6 feet tall. So if it comes up to my chest area and you are shorter than that, it's going to come up higher on you. So there isn't really a functional way that you can fall off a cruise ship. If you go overboard, there's only a few reasons why. It's because you maybe had a little too much to drink and you decided to have some fun and stand on the railings, or you jumped or someone helped you jump. So those are the reasons, but it does happen. It happens to about 20 people a year. You will hear a lot about it. It seems like it happens more than that, but there are millions of people that cruise every year. But cruise lines don't want to talk about it. It does happen. The last bit of advice we have on the things that cruise lines will not tell you, and they probably don't want you to know, is that cancellation policies are super strict and they're always in the cruise line's favor. This is one of the big reasons I talk about travel insurance all the time. If you are going on a cruise and something happens the week or 2 weeks before, I was just talking to somebody on our YouTube channel who they're sick and they can't go on the cruise and they're not getting their money back. They don't have a cruise insurance. So it's one of the reasons I harp on this all the time. Get cruise insurance. If you have a legitimate reason for not going, you will get your money back and it'll help you while you're on the cruise. But please be wary of those cancellation policies. Look at them and make a smart decision before you pay for your cruise. Usually they get really strict after final payment. Before final payment, it's not that much money. So you can make those decisions on whether you want to hedge your vacation or not. So those are some of the things that the cruise lines don't want you to know and they don't tell you. So let us know. Do you have any that you know? Put them in the comments below and we will see y'all tomorrow with another cruise video. Thanks so much. Bye.